Man, you come straight out of a comic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. This is a special edition. I am your host, Dr. Pharaoh Strange, and if you have not seen the names up here, clearly we are talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, for anybody watching this, we are about to give spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie, first off, shame on you.
Shame.
Fuck you.
Shame on
see
you.
This.
I seen it twice. I saw it twice.
Same. But if you have not seen it, we're about to put out spoilers. So go watch one of the other Straight Out of a Comic books. Go watch something from Advice from a Fuckboy, any of the amazing content from Dion, Lack, Deuces, CT. Just get your ass out of here and don't say I didn't warn you. Now, with that being said, of course, we got the fellas back. Scarlet Deuce is in the building. Dion Laximoff, Sorcerer Supreme, CT Wong, and of course, the foul mouth in any multiverse.
Foul mouth in any multiverse.
Here today. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Man,
great, man.
Let me answer before this, everybody. I am so shocked. I had no idea Clint Coley was one of us, bro. I swear. Like, Clint, I've known this guy for over a decade. I had no idea. When I saw the email, I was like, Clint Coley is into the world?
Listen,
had no idea.
Just to give you some background. So, first of all, CT, I know you're a big wrestling fan.
Yes,
I was a big 90s, early 2000s wrestling fan. That's where kind of me and Will Pharaoh got our thing going, like knowing like, okay, I like video games, blah, 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 blah. But Marvel stuff, I just didn't read the comics growing up. But, I got into it probably around the time me and Will Pharaoh were sharing the office, and he would talk about like Marvel. And I'm like, yo, this sound cool. I mean, go check out these movies that I never saw before. And I caught up on everything. Then started watching, then just got into it. Now I watch new rock stars. I'm into it.
Hey,
I'm into it. Dog. Like, yeah, Eric Boss is my guy. Yeah, I'm into it now.
That's fire, bro. That is fire. I'm definitely more of a DC guy, but now I gotta add your name to the list.
Add me to the list, CT.
This is good to know, man.
Yes, indeed. Deuce, how about yourself? How you feeling?
Man, living the dream as always, man. Just happy to be here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dion?
Oh, brother, I'm just sitting here trying to win, trying not to sin. I'm excited to talk about this.
Hey, fuck you, Dion. We still got beef.
I was about to
I don't give a fuck. We are beefing.
I don't know what's happening here.
You know exactly what's happening, you son of a bitch. We are beefing until. That's the until.
Would you like to let us know what's going on, CT?
Yo, okay. So I've been blessed to see another year. My birthday was May 9th. I had a get together.
Happy
and
belated.
Thank you so much. And anybody watching that are friends of ours, I want nobody to feel slighted. If anybody hit me on my birthday, I was like, yo, come to the crib. So Dion's there. It's incredible. We're having a great time. And Dion leaves without saying goodbye. Dips out from the party. Everybody know when you go to somebody's birthday party, you got to go to the person whose birthday it is, say, hey, I'm about to dip up out of here. I don't want to make it a big thing, but happy birthday, brother. I'm gone. And he didn't do that, right? He left, and I'm like, hey, man, I texted him like, hey, bro, you disappeared again? He said, I'm always going to disappear. He doubled down. He said, I'm always going to disappear. This ain't nothing new. This is Lack, baby. I'm out. And he disappeared from the text message. He kept it consistent.
Dion,
and I was like, fuck Dion.
So who would have thought that Wanda Maximoff would be the villain? Because the trailers.
That's a great. Hey,
that is just dip out of that conversation.
That's a great segue to go ahead and jump on into this thing, man. Of course, we're talking about.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When you exit a party, you do the. All right, let me get. Hold on. One more thing. Let's get a picture real quick. Let's get the picture. Hold up. Let's do this. And it's thick in there. It is about a minimum of 45 people in there, all on the same floor, and it's getting hot. I
That's a
pieced
lot.
out one person. They said, "Yo,
That is a lot.
we got to chop it up. We got to chop it up, man, real quick. Let me get your number." I said, "Cool." I said, "I can see where this is going. If I keep doing this, I'm never leaving." So I'm exiting.
Mm-hmm.
I run into Keenan. We talked for 10 minutes. I said, "I'm glad I did this on the outside." And then I was like, and CT, no, I do this. I just leave. I say, "I love you. You know, I give you my blessings, you know, drop gifts off, and I'm done. I've done everything I needed to do. You're not going to give me 100% of you because you're celebrating with other people."
That's a lot. You ready for this, Pharaoh? First of all, Pharaoh Strange. I'm sorry to even say this while we're supposed to be talking about this comic book, but I got to get this bullshit out because Dion's on some bullshit. Dion had his birthday. When was your birthday, Dion? Like,
come on, man.
when was your birthday? Tell the people because they might want to celebrate you. March when? March 5th. Okay, cool. Now, when we were at Dion's party, not only did I get there early, I stayed until the last person left that motherfucker. You understand? And Dion couldn't pay me the same respect. And that's when I said, "Hey, fuck Dion." After my birthday.
I had a very exclusive In-N-Out small menu restaurant at my spot. You had a Cheesecake Factory menu of niggas there.
Man. A Cheesecake Factory food. But see, Dion, you know what? You should have my name today because what you just did to the Sorcerer Supreme is the same thing Strange did into this movie.
Yeah. Come on,
you did, and we're gonna get into it. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get into it. All right, so fellas, first off, offhand, I gotta know for y'all, how did you feel after watching the movie?
Man, I felt. You mind if I start?
Go for it.
I felt like I got a lot of questions answered. Right, I got a lot of questions answered because I've been watching Loki. I've been watching, WandaVision. I've watched every show and I've watched every piece of content. And then I also have, of course, more questions as to, what happens when an incursion happens, or is an incursion coming, or what's happening? That's fine. But for me, I think Marvel did a great job at really introducing the multiverse to people who really don't know what the multiverse is. Like, you can watch this Doctor Strange movie and really get a good grasp of the multiverse. And then once you watch maybe other shows, more context is tied into it, and you'll be like, "Oh, wow, it's crazy how they tied all this together." But I do think that this was a great standalone Doctor Strange film. It was a lot of... You say what?
I won't say stay alone. You have to understand WandaVision and...
No, I agree.
And he also didn't say stay alone. He was saying stand alone. But keep going, Clint Coley.
I was just saying, as a standalone Doctor Strange film, I felt like if you didn't watch WandaVision and stuff like that, at least you know what the multiverse is without having to ask 7,000 different questions. That's what I think was answered. And I think because the multiverse is going to be the main thing in what we're doing in phase 4 or 5 and whatever's coming on later on down the pipe with Marvel. So that was all.
I'll say I loved that it was its own pocket situation, right? And what I mean is, when you see any of these films that we watched in the past 2 years, they all kind of bled into everybody knows about it, right? Doctor Strange, because it took place in the multiverse, and then they went into where the sorcerers headquarters are, and like all of this stuff was kind of a secret. You know what I mean? Except for the people in the magic world to know, "Hey man, you just did this, you touched the dark hole." Like, War Machine ain't gonna know nothing about this Doctor Strange event. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I love that. I will say it blew my mind at the end when we saw the eye of Agamotto, because it's like, oh shit, what does this mean moving forward? And is this going to be, because they jump straight into it. Like, I've never seen 2 back-to-back after credit sequences that made sense into each other that fast. So it's like, in one, he got the eye. In the next one, he's going off with Charlize Theron with the eye, like he's already mastered the eye to go handle their incursion. But it's like, okay, are we going to see another Doctor Strange movie immediately, or are we not going to see Doctor Strange until his third movie comes out to explain what he's about to do now?
Yeah. And that's that. I think what, like how you said, how it went right into it.
Yeah.
I think also for the pacing of the movie, like, you know, like usually we have it like, okay, is this person a villain? Is this, like, I like how immediately they get like it was like she had that moment. She was like, oh no, I'm good, and then she's like, I fucked up, didn't I?
You should bring America here
Brain
with
fire.
me.
It was like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, yo, she turned like it's just she just went full villain ASAP, like immediately.
Yeah.
And I love that
my children.
Right. It was just like, it was just, I thought that scene was so good because it was just like, it just shows like, oh, we thought that she had that redemption at the end of WandaVision. No,
nope.
she been on some fuck shit ever since then.
Like, and then they called her on it like, your kids aren't real. It's like, what? My kids are real in different universes, and that's why I need to get to it. It was like, oh shit, we just got all the plot immediately.
Yet she still said fuck Vision. She was like, I could have created Vision, found a universe that had Vision as well. She's like, nah, I just need my kids.
And that shows you how women feel about the father. They don't care about the man. They only care about them kids.
Useless. I couldn't even smash White Vision.
Where is White Vision? I thought he was gonna show up, bro.
I want to know where White Vision is.
Yeah, we saw him fly off.
But also too, we saw him fly off, but we don't know exactly how long it's been since that happened. Since the thing she did in WandaVision, so we don't know how long it's actually been.
Well, we also don't remember he had a moment, kind of like the He Who Remains. He had a moment where he like, I don't know if he felt something or he unlocked something, but remember that's why he flew off. He went to fly off to go do something specifically. So again, we also got to figure out like, where did he go? What is he actually doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I hate to be this guy.
Well, you about to be this guy.
That plot was hella mid. I'm not gonna lie. That plot was hella mid. Now, I will give it to them that they found a great gamble on introducing everything else. I did not fully 100% agree with the Scarlet Witch being the full story. Maybe one thing I did learn was something that CT said in the previous episode, and I'm going to start moving and doing forward. I'm not watching any more trailers to any Marvel movies.
No,
I learned my fucking lesson.
That's a real thing.
I watched the first one.
I learned my lesson.
I watched
because I overhyped myself for this movie and didn't get it. But then when I finished watching, I'm like, you know what? For what they're trying to do, they served us the right amount of what we needed to know. But also, too, there were things in there I just could not get past. Like Wanda's whole mission. If there's a multiverse, and maybe because I watch Rick and Morty, why would you not go to a dimension where Wanda's sick and you could just take her place? Why was it this particular world? And then two, you're the Scarlet Witch. Why do you need America's power? You can keep your kids alive forever.
Yeah, with your own powers. Do it again.
Yeah.
Do your own.
I didn't understand that part.
Do your own hex again.
So that's why I was just like,
I feel like she can't. I wish I knew.
Hex again in the desert. Do a hex again in the desert where she ain't fuck with nobody else.
Because then too, like you see, like she has kids in the multiverse. So again, her statement technically is true. Like he said, your kids aren't real; they're made for magic. Isn't that how all mothers make children? And it's like
that was a bar.
So where did these other kids come from? So are all of them conjured from magic, or does her kids really exist?
I think there was. I also liked how Marvel painted a little bit of irrationalism to what she was doing too.
Yeah,
it was like, yo, you're looking for your kids, but at the expense of what? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, traveling the multiverse isn't an easy thing. I know she can only. I think her powers only stretch to like getting monsters to get America Chavez, because she has her power. She can usurp her powers so that she can now travel the multiverse and choose whatever one she wants. Whatever it is, her powers did have limitations to it.
Usurper was amazing, brother. I want to give you your props on that. I don't want that to ever be overshadowed. Yeah.
So if she's been dream walking for numerous months chasing America Chavez, shouldn't there be an incursion with all these different worlds because she's the one
She
that
wasn't dreamwalking at
No,
first.
she wasn't dreamwalking. She was
wasn't dreamwalking
using
at
magic to get the monsters to chase America.
Oh, she
America
Yeah,
was
was the
going
one
was
that
saying
was
she
doing
didn't,
it.
because she didn't want to. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, she started dream walking on that one version of Wanda, and then
Right.
Doctor Strange started doing the dream walking.
Yeah.
But I also, this is what I love about Marvel films. I'm gonna give them their props as a DC guy. When you look at a Marvel film, everything means something. Like when they showed America come to Doctor Strange's universe, and she showed up with that Doctor Strange's body, because I remember he fell in behind her, but I didn't think he was going to go to the same universe as her, and then they buried him. I'm like, why would they be showing that? And then towards the end of the movie, he was like, who said it had to be alive? I was like, this is amazing.
Okay.
Everything
Okay.
does.
This is great.
And,
Yeah.
and TT, if you don't mind me jumping on that, like everything to me does mean something. And I even think that going forward, like, you know, even they specifically used Earth 838. You know what I'm saying? Like that had there is a specific reason why they specifically landed in Earth 838, and we'll find that out in months to come, you know, or years to come. You know, I think that even just even having America study at the, you know, Comitage or whatever, right? Here's the thing: there's only one America Chavez in the entire multiverse. One. And now Earth 616 technically is the most, you know, can anybody else do time travel like that? And we know who can travel through multiverse very easily.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang is the only one who can travel through. Because don't forget, he doesn't come till the 31st century, I'm assuming, right?
Well, technically, that's when he's created. But then, too, you have to go off of if time is linear, and if it's not linear, and like they say, like in this thing, time isn't linear. So the 30th century could have happened even before our time, technically.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So time, and that was going to be so time is not linear in the multiverse. So like, okay.
So looking at it, when you look at the Doctor Strange film, you look at all of the events, you look at America Chavez, she learned how to use her powers truly at the end. It's like, now what does this mean? Because we all know, just to jump back to the 838, greatest fan casting of all time.
Yes.
John Krasinski.
We've
because
been asking
for years.
It was so good.
And we were like, this will never happen. And then that motherfucker popped on screen. I screamed.
Yeah, you
bro.
did.
My whole
I was in a theater that clapped. We all clapped.
My theater erupted.
We shouted.
It was funny because CT, because you don't watch the trailers, when the trailers was coming out, there was a lot of theories on like, oh, you know, who else is going to be in the Illuminati, right? And one of the theories was we want to get a different version of T'Challa. So what was funny in my theater is when Black Bolt showed up, it was a few people that said, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh,
I was the only one excited to see Black Bolt, but I also understand what you're saying, Deuce, because I was like, yo, who is this Mexican nigga playing him? And it was I was like, yo, where I seen him from? And then it's the same guy, the original Inhuman series. And I'm like, he looked like he worn out. Like he's from the same series.
Yep.
Oh, it was like that short-lived Marvel series. I was like, oh, they used him.
But it's also nobody was happy to go ahead, Clint.
I was shocked they used Maria Rambeau.
I love that.
I loved it, but I was shocked. I didn't know they were going to go it because Maria Rambeau, or even no variant of Captain Marvel, is in the Illuminati, and you know what I'm saying. So, or is that not in the comics? I don't think that's in the comics. I don't think.
No, not the original set. No.
Yeah. And my thing to that was, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing with the symbolism, and you know, there is a Black woman who makes decisions on the Illuminati too. I like that.
Loved it.
I also thought I was going to get a variant of Tony Stark.
Come on, man. That's exactly
trailer,
what we thought.
In the trailer, that's what people thought. That's why I said you didn't watch the trailer, CT. You didn't have that moment of being like, oh, that's such and such that, because they thought it was it Ultimate, not Ultimate Iron Man,
Superior Iron Man.
Superior Iron Man.
It was supposed to be Tom Cruise. That was a fan.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be Tom Cruise.
Well, the writer too also wanted that written in, but there is a thing that they said. So if you notice in the movie when he walks in, a lot of people kind of skim passes, but like you said, CT. Everything in Marvel is meant for a reason. If you notice, there was an empty chair.
I noticed that immediately.
And so a lot of people tried to dope like, well, no, that's just Doctor Strange's thing. And so they just left that in his memory. It's like, no, they replace Illuminati members. And so the question was,
don't forget,
who's in
that
seat? No, you good. Who's in that seat? Because you still got Namor, who's supposed to be coming in Black Panther 2. You still have Black Panther, but also that leaves Superior Iron Man there because they never really put together who made the Ultron program in this.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yep.
Yeah.
They're using that's Stark Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
or
Stark
Dr.
Tech.
Pym, he was the original one.
And
See,
and that's the thing that we don't know because what it kind of seems like is a lot of Earth 838 seems like it is a lot of our classic stuff. And so it's not a coincidence that you gave us 90s Charles and you're bringing back the 90s X-Men series.
And the music when he
So there's so that means X-Men are on this planet. The Fantastic Four are on this planet. The Inhumans exist on this planet.
Are you ready? Are you son of a bitch? Are you ready for this though? Now we get to the hard question, guys, which is how, right? Because when we see them in 838, we're like, all right, cool. We got X-Men, we got Professor X, we got Monica Rambeau, we have Black Bolt. But I mean, Fantastic Four, but in the 616 universe, how are they going to explain having X-Men all of this time? How are they going to explain having Inhumans? How are they going to explain the Fantastic Four is probably the only logical explanation when they do their film as far as origin story, but not the X-Men. So how are they going to do it?
So I got to say this.
I got you. Watch this. This is how they're going to do it. It's going to be a problem in 616 that is going to require all the powers that the Illuminati has. Doctor Strange is like, I know somebody that can help. We got to find somebody who has these powers from a different universe.
And see, that's what I was thinking too. Like the how I believe that whatever happened in the multiverse, because remember, everything that happens has
shit.
What? Say that one more time.
Say it one more time.
Started again. You broke up.
Anything that happens in the multiverse, there's a effect that happens. Like there's a cause and effect. And because of everything that happened in this movie, I bet you that everything that happened is going to result in, like I said, either they're going to need the Illuminati and Doctor Strange going to be like, oh, you know what? I know that there's these people who have these specific set of powers. And that's what's going to explain, like, oh, now we have mutants. Like, I think it's not going to be anything big. Like, we always think it's going to be something big that causes mutant. I feel like it's going to be something like that. Like the events of either Spider-Man or Doctor Strange caused this, like I said, incursion, caused these anomalies, caused these mutants and these people to have to manifest more powers. I think it's probably going to manifest like that.
I disagree, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree. Go ahead, Clint Coley.
Oh, well, I was going to say two things. I think also I agree with that theory, right? But let's take it a step further. We know what's coming up down the pike with Marvel. You know, like next month we're about to get Miss Marvel. We're about to get Miss Marvel, right? How was Miss Marvel created? She's an Inhuman, technically, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. She is, but that they have tweaked her story to where there's a different way she's going to get her powers.
Yeah. All right. So, but I mean, maybe we might see how Inhumans happen in this story. Yeah. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also think that because with Earth 838, real quick, don't forget, only four members of the Illuminati died. Professor X, Black Bolt is dead.
All of them. No, Reed Richards, all of them.
Mordo's not dead.
Mordo's.
Mordo's not dead. And my thing is also they have to fit, and then also they still have a whole situation there they have to figure out. So my thing is, I think that there's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be conflict. It might be. I think I can see conflict between Earth 616 and Earth 838, and that's how mutants are introduced.
Well, that's secret. That's the Secret Wars. That's Secret Wars. So eventually, I believe that's what we're going to get up to.
Okay. But here's the thing. So let me go back to, man, Clint, you added another layer to this. So one, I disagree with Deuce because I don't think that, because you got to remember how many mutants there are. True, They're not just going to say, all right, cool. Let's bring the entire world of mutants over to 616 for this one event, and then y'all go back to y'all world. I don't think that'll happen. I do think because of the incursion and because we know what happens with anomalies, just like when we dealt with the CW universe of DC, when all of these our multiverse is different than Marvel's, so we kind of collapsed onto one planet.
Yep.
So with that happen, it made sense for every superhero to be on Earth. So something similar would have to happen for that particular universe to maybe collide with the 616 universe for mutants to exist. And then to Clint Coley's point, when you see that Mordo's alive, that means that other members have to be replaced. And is there going to be a situation where it's even more beef that you've killed our Professor X? Because the mutants, all of them respect him. He's damn near the leader outside of Magneto. So
in that universe only, though.
What do you mean?
There's several Doctor Stranges, so I'm sure there's another Professor Xavier.
No, of course there's different, but we're talking about that particular.
He's saying the wrath of 838, though.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's not coming. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be consequences for that nigga dying.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
for all of them dying.
Oh,
Sure.
X-Men acting a fool.
Because you got to think too. Also, that universe's Kane. Because remember, in Secret Wars, that's what He Who Remains was explaining. It was like it was me. I'm scared of me, and it was multiple me's that started this war before. Oof. And so think about this way, because Kane, one of the things that he one of his biggest drive, depending on which Kane that you're looking at, he wants to make sure that his universe survives. So now you took away one of his strong soldiers. That Kane may be the one that leads the charge into the Secret Wars. Like, nah, all right, y'all came to us, and y'all start killing off some of our top members. So now we gotta bring the fight back to y'all.
So here's the crazy thing with that. So now that means that Earth 616 was the world that remained, technically, right?
Well, in what regard? I'm gonna get into that. So
like, He Who Remains has to be the, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So hear me out. Hear me out.
That's when you know it's about to be some bullshit. Whatever.
When the hands go up.
Because what CT said kind of opened this up, like y'all said. I think they are leading to a secret war. And I think the war is going to be between 616 and 838. And it's going to take place within the dark dimension. That's what I think is happening right now. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to be introduced to mutants in 838. And I think we're going to get the House of MC, because there's no way Scarlet Witch is dead, because I think Wanda died. So Scarlet Witch is still here. So there's no telling where that. And then two, what a lot of people did not think catch is, now that the Darkhold is destroyed, where does all of that chaos magic go? And then also with her gone, Agatha Harkness is freed again, and she's getting her own series.
Yep. This is what's bothering me right now. It's too much a story in the MCU right now, because we still got like the Scrolls, we still got the Eternal dude with the hand coming out. We got
those are the big stories.
I mean, but no, I'm talking about like they're too major. It's not like Iron Man 1.
But isn't that comic books?
Kill off somebody real quick. These are major events. Like, imagine that dude, what's his name, Ursula, they came out of Eternals. Yeah. Doctor Strange would have got there immediately. This is a major problem.
Yeah.
So like, these are huge events that is too, like the Scrolls, like the Darkhold is like in Spider-Man is like, the different universe, Loki, timelines. It's too many major big projects. You can't just be like, my story is important.
But see, that's why
I think is also, don't forget, we're supposed to get a second season of What If, right?
Yep.
And that also, don't forget one thing that I like about Marvel too, again, everything's for a reason. We thought a lot of people thought What If was just going to be an animated series spinoff of literally exactly what it is, What If. But we see Peggy Carter, that's a real thing. Like, or
they pulled a lot of elements from that series.
Yeah. Right. Don't forget, that means there's also if that means they're pulling a lot from that series, there's also a multiverse or universe where Ultron did win, and Ultron is the cosmic being.
Yeah, and you got to remember,
he's not the only, and he can travel through different multiverses.
We saw them fly into the animated universe when they was going through different universes.
Yeah, dog. Like, that's what I'm saying. These things happen. All I'm gonna say is this: I also think on top of us, will go into a secret war. I think the next major Marvel crossover film has got to be the Young Avengers. Just because of how many of them we're seeing pop up in the last year.
I think too that's gonna lead into, because for me, it now, after even seeing like American Chavez in here, she has to get her own series. Like they've already established to where like you already had a main plot. She's going to find her parents, and so leading into that, there's a lot of stuff you can clear up, clean up, and introduce us to.
And then, but to go to what Dion was saying about everything being big, it goes back to what we said in the last episode. Remember, we was talking about comic books and Marvel. I mean, not last episode, the last Marvel one we did, but we were saying that it feels like the MCU is just comic books in general. Like it's a different universe. It's loosely based off of the comic books, but this MCU is literally comic books in movie form. So if you think about comic books and just in general, there's always big storylines. There's always what's going on. And I think that's why, you know, if you are a fan of comic books, you are in love right now. And that's why, and I told people, I said, I don't think I'll ever get that Marvel fatigue, because I was able to separate it. Like, you know, I don't look for that 100% accuracy in MCU. It's just like, let me see your take on it. It's essentially somebody else. This is all Kevin Feige's run, you know. And then
phase 1, 2, and 3 was a smooth timeline. It was nothing that was so big that distracted you from, you know, that happened in Thor, what happened in like Captain America.
But they were
kind of like very small, minuscule villains that didn't distract the world. But now that we have like the multiverse and stuff like that, that's when it's like, oh shit, how can you ignore this? The only thing I can say that's saving them, they had that 5-year gap. So a lot of stuff could be happening during the blip. So they didn't have help from other Avengers and stuff. So I think that's how they can kind of cheat away by saying this happened while everybody was blipped.
And I'll say this too, Dion, too. Like I think also with that, you know, here's the thing, you know, they have a lot of that the phase 1, 2, and 3. I believe again, we all know that was to lead up to Thanos, right? Marvel. If I'm going to go by that same track record, I do believe that you want a big villain, and we all know that Kang is the next big villain. Also,
I don't know.
Here's why
I don't know.
Here's why I say that. You're not going to waste that. Like, and I'm looking at this from a Hollywood perspective, right? You know, they got Jonathan Majors playing this guy, right? Jonathan Majors right now is A-list. You know what I'm saying? And he's arguably one of the best actors in the business. You know what I'm saying? To have this guy going to be able to play 3 or 4 different variants of himself, talking about He Who Remains, actual Kang the Conqueror, blah, 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 blah. I do believe Marvel is trying to lead us up to this big villain. Like, don't forget, they hinted at it in Loki just with his statue of how big this man really is.
That's a statue.
But no, I know. It was like, it's like,
but they gave a black man a statue, so you know that means something.
That's something. That is huge.
And Loki too. But CT, what were you about to say before I chime in?
So, man, God, here's the thing, man. Clint keeps fucking introducing me to so now, okay.
My bad.
All right, it's fine. Let me address that first. So, have you ever seen Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the animated series, Clint?
Never watched it. I'm sorry. I'll go check it out.
No, it's fine. Go watch that the moment we finish this episode, because if you watch that and you see how they show Kang the Conqueror, then you'll understand while it's possible he could be a big bad, he's not going to be the big bad. I feel like he's going to be more of Avengers 2 with like Ultron, because he was introduced in Loki. He's going to be an Ant-Man, and we'll see how he moves from that point. But Kang is more of a always going to be around guy. He's almost like the next Loki.
That's you literally just took the words out of my mouth. Kang is literally the next Loki.
Yeah, but the cosmic joint. So this is my first point. Eternals for me, to what Deuces introduced, was my fatigue. Like, by the time Eternals came out, it was the only Marvel movie that they've ever released that I was like, I'm not about to go. I'll watch that when I get to it, right? And then I see it, and I was like, all right, this was cool, but it wasn't. They introduced so much. If you weren't truly a Marvel head, you don't know. And again, I'm a DC guy. I enjoy Marvel, but I'm a DC guy. But at the end of that film, when they showed the Celestials and they showed that hand coming through the water, that shit was so creepy and large to me.
Yes.
that I was like, how
you can't ignore that.
you can't ignore that. So just like
No.
Dion said, somebody would have been to that immediately.
Yeah.
So it's like, now are they telling us that that
This
Silver
happened
Surfer's
in-
guy,
Galactus.
Galactus. Are they telling us Galactus is the next guy? Because if that's the case, that's 10 to 12 to 15 years away, because they still got to introduce Fantastic Four and X-Men to even deal with that cosmic level threat.
Silver Surfer.
Well, that's another reason why I think that's not the next big bad either. It is probably the person that runs the Secret Wars, which is not the Collector, but the other one that's around with them and stuff. If they're still going to use that. And what gave that away for me is when they showed them when America Chavez and them were going through the different dimensions.
Yep.
There's a dimension where they show the Living Tribunal.
Good living, just they do. They show the
And
living
so-
tribunal.
the Beyonder, right? The Beyonder.
Yeah, the Beyonder. Yeah, the Beyonder. And so they've already showed us some of these celestial beings already. So the Beyonder can also be a tie-in to the fact of with Eternals. And I think that's what Eternals was really trying to introduce, was the celestial hierarchy that we haven't seen yet. Because the only thing we've really seen from that is, of course, the Asgardians, and of being like the gods and stuff like that. There's gods and there's
supposed to be,
Titans.
look like we're supposed to get a Zeus popping up in Thor, in the next Thor.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, played by Russell Crowe.
I tell you, this is the three next bigs. It's gonna be King and Conqueror, Doctor Doom,
Yep.
then Galactus.
Here's the thing. But okay, for us to have a Doctor Doom, we gotta have a Fantastic Four.
I mean, that's
and
what happened soon.
we know they're doing the movie,
here.
but Doctor Doom, I understand and I almost agree with you, but Doctor Doom is such a massive villain. He's also somebody who doesn't go away. So it's like Doctor Doom is almost neck and neck with a Galactus, because you can't just fight a Galactus like bing bang bow bow. Doctor Doom, you can't hit it with a bing bang bow bow. You got to hit it with something else. So with the bing bang bow bow. So go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say here's how I think what Doctor Doom is actually going to be the equivalent. And with me and you being DC, I feel like Doctor Doom is going to be like a Vandal Savage type character, where when we get introduced to him, he'll be a bad, but he'll eventually end up being the one that's orchestrating so much shit behind the scenes that by the time we get to him, and it's like you realize how much power Doctor Doom actually has and how much influence that he has had on everything. I think it's going to be something like that.
And it already can lead to that, just to go off of what he said, because of seeing Reed Richards in 838. Then that means there is a Doctor Doom that exists. And who says Nathan Richards can't go to him or hasn't went to him already? Because that's technically in one part his uncle in a story in one of the timelines during the Egyptian times. Doctor Doom is actually his uncle. But that's what also makes me believe, though, too. What happened with this incursion stuff is a loop, and it was something New Rockstars actually mentioned with Dormammu, and Dormammu actually being a variant of Strange.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's like that. So like the theory that New Rockstars has, and I thought this was dope, and I really wanted to bring this to them. So shout out to them, was that when the first Doctor Strange happened, when he went to go bargain with Dormammu, their theory is that Superior Strange from 838, that's the person he was dreamwalking, was our Doctor Strange when he went talk to Dormammu. And so that put us in an infinite loop that continued to cause that incursion until Loki broke it by killing He Who Remains. And that's why stuff started to branch off. And that's what I think those branches are causing an incursion, not only in the multiverse, but in the different dimensions that they have. Because you remember those pockets of dimensions between the multiverses.
Yes, that's true.
And luckily, that's his voice too. He was playing DeMar.
Yeah, he was.
So they already set it up.
That's brilliant.
We also we haven't talked about this aspect of the movie yet, but Sam Raimi did his damn thing.
Redemption,
man.
Oh my God! No, when Scarlett came out the reflections and she was on something like Pennywise moving, I was like, yo, like there. I heard people legit like jump scare scream.
No, I gotta give credit where credit is due, though. And I know CT will love this. If it wasn't for DC setting that groundwork like that, because when I watched it, I was like, this is what DC do. and y'all finally doing something. Because like people tried to push it as a horror film. I was like, it definitely had the horror elements, but it wasn't scary. But I'm like, no, you're just doing what DC is doing. You showing
more blood. You're showing more blood.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, that's what it also was kind of hard to set in, which is like, yo, she really killed all these people.
Yeah. And the way she killed, like, here's the thing. First of all,
Peggy
shout out
with her own shield.
It cut her in half. I respect the fact that they gave the black woman the least gruesome death.
I agree with that.
It was respectable, bro. It was very respectable.
She drained all her powers, made her human, and threw a building on her.
But you didn't see. So with Mr. Fantastic, she turned that motherfucker to spaghetti. That's number one.
Yeah, he go.
Then you see Captain Britain got sliced in half with her own shield. Professor X got his neck snapped. We saw Doctor Strange.
Not snapped, ripped apart.
Now, here's the thing. The problem is when Black Bolt. When Black Bolt, his fucking head exploded. But the problem with Black Bolt, before I even finish this point, Black Bolt is supposed to be able to say, and that destroys you. Yep. So the fact that they had him say a whole sentence, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That would have destroyed everybody around.
Well, no, the fact that he breathed when he was saying that and nothing happened. It was
I was like, that's the only thing that I find a flaw in. But then when Monica got drained and then she got hit by the building, then the building fell on her and you saw her arm just go. I was like, that's respectful. That's better than everybody.
Yeah, that's respectful. Why did she did all this in pajamas?
She was in mom jeans. She was in mom jeans and no shoes.
Socks. No socks though. She was
Indian style in a throne, just chilling, just
bro. Let me tell you,
the strongest heroes in this just.
Bro, I've never seen but you know what I think is, dude, that says a lot too. Let's talk about Marvel and them, like me watching Avengers Age of Ultron and watching where her powers started there, where her powers are now. Don't forget, in Endgame, she almost snapped Thanos apart by herself.
Oh, he was stressed. He was like,
he had to call. He said, nigga, just do it. Like
he killed half his army because of her.
Yeah.
And she was distracted. If she wasn't distracted and mourning, she probably could have demolished him by herself.
And they showed that in Infinity War. If she, you know what I'm saying, she could have killed him in Infinity War before he even got the
she wasn't as good as her powers yet. But my thing is,
but you know what too though, which let me know Vision is really black, because that was some old manipulating fuckboy shit he did right there. Because he could have definitely told her, like, yo, first off, fuck him up. You ain't gotta rip shit out my head. Fuck Doctor Strange. Don't rip shit out my head.
You're not stabbed. Kill him.
Kill him. The fact that it's like, yo, your first thought, you should rip my living thing out of my head. Ooh. What? You the reason for all of this, making dumbass decisions.
Dumbass decisions.
You know what
we just can't forget she's fucking.
This is something that bothered me. Doctor Strange and Wanda, they never met before. You notice that, right? They only met each other on the battlegrounds. And I was like, well, how do they know each other? They talking about
no, technically they didn't cross paths on the battleground either.
They were just fighting together.
Yeah, the only time you could really probably say they met.
This is Doctor Strange, bro.
The only way is the portals, I guess.
Not even just the portals.
No, I'm saying Stark's funeral too is where he met her. Because
that's a possibility as well. But the true thing, you got to look at Doctor Strange saw every possible outcome on how they beat Thanos, and he knew who was involved. He knew the players, and that's how.
Yeah,
like he knew from there.
And he showed in what it was. I think it was Thor Ragnarok. Like it's he keeps track of everybody.
Everybody
like he doesn't know
about the hex.
What'd you say, Clint?
He knew about Westview too.
Yeah. But he also knew he was in a hex when he got there, because he was like, it almost smells real. But what really shocked me was she's not in the same place after WandaVision.
No,
ever. Because originally she was behind mountains. There's no mountains behind her.
Nowhere, yeah.
So where is she this time? A lot of people think she may have went back to Sokovia.
I can see that.
And how did you find her?
The brilliant. This is Doctor Strange. How dare you?
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, like he found Thor's daddy.
Here's my question for everybody. I got a question for everybody. Can Wanda get stronger?
Yeah. Because Wanda is the strongest being in Marvel.
Yeah, and one of the things, I mean, I don't know how they're going to put it in, but like Elizabeth Olsen says she wants to say no more mutants, right? And that is probably one of the most biggest flex in comic book history. The fact that she said that and mutants just was gone.
But
Like,
that's why I say that. But that's why I bring up that secret war with 838.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going when she's gonna get to say it. Because I also think 838 is causing incursions with other universes.
Because
That's
of what they
you think it's 838? You don't think it's
doing
us?
with the Darkhold?
No, I think it's 838, and I think 838 knows what they're doing. Because it was like my whole thing was I got a very creepy feeling from them. It's like, yo, I feel like they put all of that on Strange to take that blame.
Because they all look like they've been through some shit. They all
right,
look like
and it's like Modo already said, I know what the Darkhold is, and it's like, yo, your feelings for Strange didn't change throughout the multiverse, so y'all know more than what y'all are leading to, and so I think y'all are also causing incursions with other universes.
I agree with that, and let's go a step further with that too. Like, don't forget they had a whole scientific lab dedicated, and don't forget Dr. Christine was literally specifically multiversal stuff. Don't forget on Earth 616, the multiverse is kind of like, it's not a new theory, but it's like we don't have the tech, or we don't know.
It's just a theory. Yeah, it's just a theory.
That universe, and then don't forget too, they weren't the Illuminati of the multiverse. They were just the Illuminati of Earth 838. There is no Illuminati on Earth 616, right?
We don't know.
Right, as
not
right
yet.
now, we don't know.
No, not yet. Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying? My thing is, so I do agree with you, Will. Earth 838 is the one that's doing the incursions based on what Strange was doing with the Darkhold back then, and I think don't forget they sent them 2 places with incursions.
So that's why,
fellas, I gotta go. I have a meeting. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you good to go, bro.
Yeah, dipping out again, huh? On the disappearance side.
I was just gonna leave.
That's what I'm about to say. I was like, at least he just leave.
Son of a bitch.
And I was sitting here like, Dion,
Man.
and then just wait for him to get him back.
Oh, speaking of the movie, man, I feel like it was a great film, but I didn't get enough multiverse action. Like it seemed like when they got to 838, that's what it was. I'm like, this is what's gonna land.
I agree with that.
It wasn't enough madness in that sense. It was
where's the madness?
We only went to 3 worlds. It was like, yo, I got that little montage you gave us, but it's like, yo, drop us in these things.
Let us see other people. Because by that movie coming out, we already know the Spider-Man was supposed to come out after Doctor Strange, but at the same time, because the Spider-Man movie was so massive, and Toby and Andrew alone were perfect. So with this film, when you call it the multiverse of madness, Mom dropping on Mother's Day, make Wanda the villain is massive, but at the same time, you got to give us more cameos.
I just caught that, bro.
Yeah, Mom.
I did not, and that kind of goes with like the whole, like it's like the underlying theme of motherhood.
That's real. Damn,
like,
I ain't even. Damn.
Wow.
Yo. All right, CT.
So it's like I wanted to see more cameos. I want to see different variants. Like, so okay, cool. You couldn't give us Tom Cruise because of scheduling. All right, I respect it. But you couldn't give us Wolverine in jacket, so he ain't got to go to the gym. You couldn't give us you couldn't. Who else did I want to see? I would have loved to seen Human Torch. Had always been one of my favorites, and that's why I loved when Chris Evans was Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movies. He was the only good thing about those damn movies. But like, show me those. Give me an Edward Norton playing the Hulk. I know he had time. Like, so that's where it lost.
Or even just, I would love to see that. Like, I love the scene where Doctor Strange sees, I guess that's Supreme Strange with the third eye.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I would love to see them going against each other in different multiverses. Like, I wanted to see more of that. Like, like I would love to see a different, or him meet another Iron Man in another universe. It didn't even have to be Tom Cruise. It could have just been you meet another arrogant ass Tony Stark. Or you meet another, what I mean? I would love to see like what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah, I do agree with that. It wasn't.
They dropped the ball on it with throwing us those things, getting us ready for it, and then not giving it to us. Like, even like America saying, I've been to over 70 different universes, and you can't control your power. So it's like, I get what y'all was saying, like, you have controlled of this entire time. It's like, man, let her have some screw ups and fall into some different worlds.
But I got a question
and then lead to that.
Because I'm like, what level? Because remember, she still, up until the end, she didn't grasp her power, right? So it means that every unit that she went to by accident.
Right.
So what's the level of scare? Like, is it like if we hop out and say surprise, does he jump into a new universe, or is like what's the level of scare?
Yeah.
Because
I think
I
the
don't know what she got.
kamikaze is going to definitely calm her down and understand how she can, like, they're going to use that. And then don't forget, now they have somebody who can travel through the multiverse. They have an upper hand at the kamikaze. You know what I'm saying?
Now they can teach her how to truly fight. Because my thought was, and you said this earlier, Will, if they give her her own movie or a series, you have to have other people, not Avengers, but you gotta have other superheroes with her to fight, because she's not a fighter as a character. And it's like, from that movie, I love her face, I love her energy, I love her acting, but she's not strong enough to carry anything by herself because she can't fight.
Well, that's if they choose to not give her her other stuff. So, like in the comic book, she has super strength and flight.
Oh wow!
So, so I don't know if they're gonna give her that in this one, but that was the reason why. Yeah, but that's why I see why they pushed her so hard to be put in here. And just like how Clint had mentioned, like the Young Avengers, like we saw Kate Bishop already, and then we saw Isaiah Bradley's grandson who plays Patriot. So we've already starting to see a couple of them in there. So I get why they did
Wanda kids, because Wiccan.
No,
not Wiccan.
Wiccan.
Yeah, Wiccan shows up.
Yeah, I think it is Wiccan.
I gotta hear me out, because with America Chavez and with her being able to jump to different universes and things like that, her show could be that. Her show could be where we get to see all those variants, all those fan casting. It'd be her jumping into those different universes. Then, like you said, we may get those alternate versions of Ed Norton's Hulk or Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Because then it's not a big movie thing. It's just all right, this episode I'm in this universe. Oh, I run into Iron Man. Oh, it's this. It could be like that.
So with that one, what you're saying, I still have to go with CT's thing when it comes to Marvel of making sure you're at the right pace of what Kevin Feige is giving you. So with you saying that, I think that would happen, but I think that would happen with more lower characters. I won't call them lower, but I could see her running into Daredevil, Luke Cage, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I could see her running into those versions of people on the show. And then, of course, you got maybe one of those two big cameos that come into the series and stuff like that. Like, honestly, we in the Hear Me Out thing, I think that would be one of the funniest ones for her to run and introduce Deadpool into the MCU.
That would be crazy.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So I have a question then. So now Doctor Strange was it's technically Marvel's last biggest film. Would you say Thor is the next big film? I wouldn't say that it is. I would say that their next big blockbuster coming is probably going to be Black Panther or Ant-Man, right?
No.
What I'm asking. So I'm asking y'all, what do y'all feel like is going to be the next? So for me, Spider-Man answered a little bit, but Doctor Strange gave me more of what I know they're trying to do broad, on a broad perspective. So I guess my question to you is, what's the next movie or show that's going to give us a broad perspective of what phase 4, phase 5, and what's happening coming up next?
Here's the thing. I hear exactly what your points are, but Black Panther is not going to get. Black Panther has too much work to do with fixing its own story more so than telling you the story for the universe. The only thing we'll get out of that is Namor. But
no, we're also going to get Iron Lad in that too. And the only reason why I know that is because they were filming in Boston. And
who the fuck is Iron Lad? And then I'll give you the rest of my phone.
Oh, Riri, the black.
Oh, gotcha.
Because her and T'Challa's sister are going to be going to MIT along with Mary Jane too, and Ned.
Yep,
they all at MIT together.
This is good to know. So with that, the reason I say they have so much to do within their own story, they wouldn't be on some Doctor Strange shit. But Thor, you got to remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Ant-Man is going to introduce a lot as well, because that's dealing with time as well as that's setting up some other shit. So I'll give you Ant-Man as a possibility for the really next big blockbuster. But you got to think about Thor. Thor is just getting started, and because he just hit his stride with Ragnarok. And it's crazy to say that because this is Thor 4, and Thor has been there since the very beginning. But Thor 1 was like, okay, this is introducing us to the space aspect and mystic, like magic kinda before Doctor Strange.
I agree.
Then when we got Thor 2, it was so trash, but we were still so high on the MCU, they just dropped another movie and we went with it.
And just to give with that, it was because of the fact Guardians of the Galaxy hadn't came out, so they hadn't established what space was going to look like
right.
the MCU.
Yeah. And then when we get to Thor 3, which is Ragnarok, it changed everything because not only did you show us that Thor has another side, which is funny, like he was funny in Avengers, and he had a couple of lines to his movie.
Ragnarok.
But Ragnarok was so great of a balance between action, comedy, and heart, and you got a chance to see the transitioning of Asgard now moving to Earth instead of just being blown up because his sister and that prophecy, right? Now Thor 4, whatever they're gonna do with Jane, because mind you, I don't watch trailers for great reason, so I can be in a theater and have a good time. But now this Thor, the motherfucker's back yoked up. We're gonna see what threat he actually faces, and then they got to give us something or whatever the next movie is overall.
With Thor's storyline, and when you see how broken he was after Infinity War and like everything that led up in Endgame, you got to remember Thor's also on a new trying to find himself. He doesn't want to be the Norse god anymore. He's trying to find where he stands. That's why he left Asgard, in the hands of what's old girl's name? I can't think of her.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, Valkyrie's hand, because he was like, look, you run this. I don't want to do this no more. So now, like I said, with Love and Thunder, it is truly like Thor trying to find like I don't know if I want to still be the superhero, if I don't want to be the god anymore. Like I need to find my place. And that's why he latched on with Guardians of the Galaxy, like, okay, well, y'all exploring and I need to explore, so let me go on this journey with you guys. So it's like I'm excited about that because it's like we're gonna get what is next for Thor, because right now we don't really know what's next for Thor yet.
And Thor, to be honest, he can go for the next 10 years, like at least 10 years, because he's young as hell, and he's the last Avenger from the original 6 that is still active. Hawkeye done got old. They showed that shit in the series. This motherfucker got ice every day. Like he's the only one. Even the Hulk is old.
Definitely got ice every day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
ice
saying?
and everything.
He's
just
the
like
only Avenger.
But just like what Deuce was saying, not only does it introduce us to continue Thor's story, it continues us to learn what's out there in the universe of the MCU. So it also gives us a chance to learn. I think what Thor will do will get us to learn more about planets that are in the MCU that we're familiar with and stuff like that, as opposed to everybody else that's dealing with the celestial beings and introducing them there. And then also setting us up for what's about to happen with Guardians of the Galaxy and how their story is either going to continue or come to an end. But just like from what we know is supposedly supposed to be happening, there's so many other factors that's being opened into it. Like now we know, like even with like, are they going to introduce the symbiotes now? Because that's the one thing I'm very, very curious about, because I feel like if they did what I think they did, Marvel just played the slickest shit ever on Sony and figured out a way how to introduce Spider-Man's world into the MCU without them.
Well, also once you start dealing with space travel, like Thor or Guardians of the Galaxy, I bet they're going to be the first people where we get either an Easter egg or a glimpse into Galactus, the Silver Surfer, because they're already out there. I mean, and like you said, we're learning about planets, and we know that Galactus, he's the planet eater. That's his whole thing. And so it's like, you travel far. You travel far in, and you start seeing certain universes and certain planets are being destroyed. You're gonna ask, like, what the fuck is going on? And then you learn about that.
So that's why I was a little bit confused, though, because to me it felt like Marvel was trying to move off the original 6. You know what I'm saying? And you see, like, okay, you see each one of the original 6, each one of their protege, not really proteges, but each one of their like
sidekicks.
Again, Clint had Hawkeye, and even though what's her name, Scarlett Johansson, or what's her name, Black Widow died, her sister is still somewhat of a fighter. Don't forget, what's his name? Iron Man. We're going to get Iron Lad and Black Panther and his legacy. We're also going to, and then we also got
War Machine, Wars.
Yeah, we got, and we also don't forget Captain America. We have the new successor to that, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be Isaiah Bradley, whoever they choose. But my thing is, I thought they were going to move off of Thor because it's like, all right, he's one of the original 6. It's kind of over. But what I'm hearing you guys saying, it's making a lot more sense to me, is you can do a lot with Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm.
You know and you can do a lot with space.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I was like, I didn't think Thor was going to be a next big blockbuster because I'm like, okay, they're trying to move off Thor. Okay, I'll watch it because I'm an MCU fan. But I thought like the next movie that was going to like let's be real. I didn't know how important. I seen Age of Ultron when it actually came out. I wasn't a MCU fan, but I was a fan of like the actual Avenger movies. And we didn't know how much that movie really played a big part of the MCU. So now you realize like, wow, Age of Ultron really was the movie that really set this whole shit off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is I'm figuring out, okay, well, what's the next big, and I'm thinking Kang is the next big thing with Ant-Man and Quantumania. That was why I said what I said.
But here's the thing. Go ahead, Deuces.
Just real quick, I was gonna say shout out to whoever runs the Disney Plus algorithm because they do a really good job at like once you watch something, they link it back to an old movie, and you like, oh, now I see the connection. Like that was dope.
Oh yeah.
So looking at it to go with Clint, as far as like what shows that when you look at these films, man, Thor from the original 6 has I'm telling you, if Thor Ragnarok didn't do well, that would have been the end of it. But Thor Ragnarok did so well, and it breathed new life into the character of Thor that he's going to be around until he isn't anymore, because it's like, you got to look at every one of the actors too. Robert Downey Jr. was 40 when he got the role of Iron Man, and for that 10 years, like he stopped playing him at 52. So then you look at Scarlett Johansson. She got that role, and then she's like, all right, look, I'm ready to settle down and have a family, because her movie was way too. They gave her movie after Wonder Woman because they're like, oh, I guess we should do something with you, even though we just killed the character too little, too late.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
It wasn't. They should have done
that the pandemic and the way they planned it. It was all horrible.
Bad. They Captain America.
Movie should have came out before Endgame.
Well, no, it was supposed to, but no, it was not before Endgame. It was supposed to come out a while back, but then something happened to where production got pushed back. They had to do Endgame, and then when it was supposed to come out as a filler after Endgame, so you know what happened in between those times, the pandemic hit. And then theaters got closed, and in theaters, that's where like the actors make their money from the box office. And so they kept telling them like they're not going to put it on the streaming service and wait for it to go to theaters. But then something got happened in miscommunication, and it dropped years later. Yeah, and it dropped on streaming services, and it didn't do as well as it could have in box offices. So where Scarlett didn't even really get her money for that film, and it came so late to the point where we didn't care anymore. Yeah, like the only thing, like the highlight of it was your family. Your sister was the highlight of the whole movie.
Yeah, and she did great in the Hawkeye series. But then you look at Captain America. Chris Evans was like, all right, this was great, but now I want to go do some other stuff. It's like, all right, cool, let's write this dude out. But you know, we could bring him back if possible. You can't bring back Iron Man. Well, you know, Robert wouldn't go back. And then you look at the Hulk, and he's about to be in She-Hulk. But as much as we have love for Ruffalo, he's not our Hulk. He was never our Hulk. We gave him love because of the tenure and them recasting, but Edward Norton was our Hulk. So Ruffalo was never going to be the dude that we wanted to see get a solo. So that's what I've aged him up so much to where it's like, all right, cool. Now you're more of a mentor.
And also, though, to jump on that, though, I think one thing they may do, and what I noticed with Endgame to combat that, so we don't have to worry about no more, continue to keep him as Hulk.
Right.
And so the way Hulk doesn't
like Ruffalo.
I did too, but like between him and Norton, though, and I think only because Norton got his own solo, you got to really get attached to him as Bruce Banner, like him being on the run, him learning his heart palpitations to keep him from getting angry. Even when he got angry, it was like, yo, like when Ruffalo did it, it was like, you're secure in it already. So I can kind of see your wheels turning to where it was kind of like if you watch in the comics when he was on that island and went crazy, like you're already kind of tied into it, like, well, I'm attached to this motherfucker, so here it is.
Ruffalo's Hulk never sold me because they tried to squeeze it in the Avengers movie, giving him his origin story as far as how he is the Hulk, you know, with that whole opening scene, but he never showed me his heart. Like, why should I care about Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk is what I've always felt. Scarlet Johansson, Black Widow, her movie was too little too late, because I love Scarlett Johansson as an actress, but as a character of Black Widow, that movie should have happened right after Iron Man 1.
Yep, it definitely should have. And because the way that, again, once you start, like I said, the whole thing about phase 1 was to give us, like I said, the love story of these heroes coming into their powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like when we talk about the Hulk and we talk about Ed Norton, like you seen the struggle, you felt like Hulk was fucking with him, and he was like, but he also wanted that power. Like you felt like that relationship there with Ruffalo's Hulk. Like you said, he seemed too already calm with it, even though they tried to show his struggle with it. His struggle didn't seem as struggle as Ed Norton.
You know what they did? They tried to continue Norton's story with Ruffalo, and that's why it didn't work. Because it's like, I get it, you're replacing him. It's similar to Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard as far as War Machine. It's like Terrence Howard did all that groundwork, and Don Cheadle came in and just threw the suit on. So it didn't feel like he ever really earned it.
But he didn't do a lot though. But that was a difference too. Like Terrence Howard was a great feature, but it didn't feature him as War Machine.
Right.
It gave us a chance to get introduced to Cody Rhodes, and it wasn't a lot. So we didn't get to know a lot about him.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was watching Backlash earlier. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Colonel
Shout out to
Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, man.
Man, the American dream, man.
Right.
R.I.P. No, don't be. But
So, keep going.
we got to learn. Yeah, but we got to learn. We didn't get a lot of Terrence. So
Right.
when he got replaced, it wasn't as bad. But like how you said too, you didn't earn it, but I'm gonna let you make it.
I'm gonna let you rock.
Yeah, but for Edward Norton's, we got to go on a ride with him. Like him and fucking William Hurt going after each other.
Wow.
Then Tony talking. It was just like, and then you see Mark Ruffalo, and it's just like you can't help but think, man, imagine if this was Edward Norton talking to Robert Downey about Ultron. Imagine if this is Edward Norton spitting game at Scarlet and stuff like that. Like you just feel that it was a different intensity.
They always drop the ball. And I'll give you even one further, because they try to clean it up. We always wanted Ruffalo, but Universal or whatever. So looking at the relationship of William Hurt, right, and Mark Ruffalo, they never even showed them clashing as far as all these Avengers movies went. And then the brother died. So it's like you dropped the ball over here. They gave more screen time with Rhodey and Tony Stark with William Hurt than they did Mark Ruffalo. So it's kind of like, what was this even for you to bring back Hurt? I agree with everything that you just said about Edward Norton and how we felt about him. But now you're telling us, hey guys, just go with it, because we're not giving him a Hulk movie solo. He's too old. We're just gonna keep the shit moving and keep the train going. But let me give you this. This is a testament. This whole Marvel universe is a testament to how great Robert Downey Jr. is. Because no matter what movie comes up, we still be like, this shit cool. But man, Robert Downey Jr. ain't in this motherfucker.
I agree. Yeah,
that's how great he is, man.
Yep,
I agree.
So, but before we get out of here, we just want to, I want to wrap up just so. After seeing everything that y'all seen in this movie, with everything coming and stuff like that, what most are you looking forward to that you think is going to happen in the MCU further down the line, whether it be Disney Plus, whether it be the movies, or even like the little in-between things that they give us?
I'm gonna go first before Clint.
I was gonna say I'm gonna start with CT,
because Clint's gonna make me think about something else. I'm gonna get my point. So I think number one, Young Avengers is gonna be a Disney Plus series. They definitely not gonna make that into a movie. Because for movies to sell, you need people to sell them on, and the only person they have to sell us on that would be was Kate Bishop and now America Chavez. I don't see any of the other actors who play the roles selling any tickets yet, but we would watch that series. I want to see more of an immediate build to Fantastic Four and X-Men, because these are the two properties that we've been without that could have made Civil War better than any of the Avengers movies. If we had the X-Men and Fantastic Four,
oh my god,
that movie would have been that much greater, and it was already great. So I need those immediate builds, and I feel like I have no answer. I mean, after the Avengers movie, we knew it was Thanos. We knew how they were going to go towards it. But now we're arguing, deciding if it's going to be Kang or if it's going to be Galactus because we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
All right, Deuce, what about you?
So similar to CT, like X-Men and Fantastic Four for sure, because like Silver Surfer has always been one of my favorite characters in comic book history, and I can't wait to see how they actually bring him into the fold and everything. And I know that we have to get Fantastic Four into that, but I'm really interested on how they're actually going to bring the scrolls in, because at some point, like I said, they hinted that like the people that we've seen up until this point may not actually be the actual people. So if that's the case, I'm just like to go with what Dion said. I know I defended against it, but like, yeah, there's a lot of big storylines that are like, all right, like what, like when is the reveal going to happen, and when is that reveal going to happen, so where we actually know who was real and who wasn't. So I'm still excited and trying to, figure that out. But if I had to pick one for sure, I would say it is the Fantastic Four aspect of it, because like I said, we got the glimpse. The Illuminati was in the Baxter Building, so it was like, oh snap, like all right, and so I assumed that it was Mr. Fantastic Tech that created the Doom, that created the Ultron bots. I know we had kind of asked like who did it, and I thought it was his tech that did so, but I'm like I want to see them do Fantastic Four right, because like you said, it was always like, oh okay, we got a good Human Torch, and then like that was it, and then the other one, I don't think there was any good one, the one that last one that came out that last time they did the Fantastic Four. So I want to see them do Fantastic Four right.
Yeah, and you already know my theory from the group chat.
Yeah,
everybody's a fucking scroll.
Bro, what if? So when you talk, go ahead, Clint Coley. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's a crazy plot twist, though. Yeah, I do want, because like we do know we're supposed to be getting Secret Invasion, so we don't know who's a scroll. We don't know. The thing that I'm looking forward to the most is, bro, I fell in love with the Loki series, and I think the Loki series to me is the key to the next. Like I'm going to go on a limb. And I'm going to tell everybody, if you don't or didn't watch Loki, please revisit that. That to me is going to be what we look at, how we look at Age of Ultron in the next 7 years, right? Here's why. Miss Minute said there was an all-out multiversal battle. Timelines colliding over supremacy. That's what I'm looking for next. I'm looking for multiversal timelines to collide and fight, and I'm looking for Kang to. I can't wait to see Kang, because I think he's going to be conquering multiple universes. I think we're going to get the Kang. We're going to get a motherfucker who is literally like winning. Like you thought Thanos was bad. This is about to be a whole different situation, and I think it's going to bring out. I think whoever said it earlier. Fantastic Four, X-Men. So I think all of that's going to happen within the next 5 years, bro. But I think immediately payoff. We about to get introduced to Kang, and we about to get a real villain up in here that we ain't going to.
CT, I see what you mean when you say Clint brings up stuff, because now I got some other stuff I want to say.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm glad I got the damn point out. Look, when you see Loki already,
the face of left off on though.
Somebody screenshot that.
Please. Yeah, nope.
That is a perfect meme.
My internet went out.
Yours did?
No, not mine. I'm saying I'm looking at CT's.
Well, while CT is
oh shit, we still here. Okay, cool. Okay. So Pete. So when I look at Loki, when they show the Infinity Stones, and there was literally drawers of them, and they were like, yeah, we use them as paperweights. I'm like, how many universes did these stones come from? Right? That's one. Two, when you say the multiversal wars and getting conquered, I want to see that as well. But it often makes me think, okay, if we play this like this, where is Loki? Because we know he's existing through all of this stuff, and we know that he has to pop up at some point during Ant-Man.
He's going to, because I believe, and maybe you guys believe this too, that the TVA is in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the quantum realm doesn't deal in the multiverse, and the quantum realm doesn't deal on a timeline. The quantum realm is its own separate situation, which means too also in different multiverses there are more quantum realms. If I'm not mistaken, right? Or there should be.
Well, that was going to be my choice for this one. Was what I was excited and looking forward to was actually Ant-Man. I still think Ant-Man is one of the most slept on movie characters in the MCU. I think he's had some of the best solo movies.
Right.
But I get it from the grand aspect as why people may see that different. But I'm so looking forward to that because I think the quantum realm is one big, massive realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is something almost kind of like a highway that connects us to almost everything. And I think that's why we're going to find out what Kang has really been up to using that quantum realm. Because just like how y'all said with everything else, remember what this does to you when you're in there. What happened to the original Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer, when she was in the quantum realm, all these new powers that she got, the energy they were trying to pull from there before the Thanos snap happened and Ant-Man got stuck. What exactly is being drawn from there? What's being created from there? Or when He Who Shall Not Be Named gave us his story, was that where he pulled all that power from to trap Goliath? So that's what I'm really looking forward to, but just as well as y'all to also include Fantastic Four. And also, I know this may just be me, but just so Kang is tied in and just because of my Office fetish that I love that series, I think Rashida Jones should be Sue Storm.
Here's the thing.
I'm not mad at that.
I love Rashida Jones.
But it's not. I know it's not going to happen. The CT,
it better not be.
Show
I have a question. So we know Kang the Conqueror is a descendant of Reed Richards, right? That's A.
Yeah.
Does Kang the Conqueror in the comics does he have a conflict with the X-Men Solo?
That I don't know.
The reason why I'm asking is because if we're talking about a next villain and we're talking about pulling all these things in, why can't he be the villain against the Fantastic Four and against the X-Men, or you know what I'm saying? Like, why not?
He can, but just for the simple fact that you've released celestial elements, it makes him more. I mean, the thing is too, like Fantastic Four has defeated him numerous times, so it doesn't give you that full level. And the only reason why is because you kind of know what's coming, but also too, that's what makes it your weakness because you think you know what's coming, and time is always consistently changing. And so that's what helps them defeat him. So that's why I'm just like how CT said, there's a higher being calling there. And so too, and then too, also, I think, the Guardians of the Galaxy is maybe what introduces us to either Silver Surfer, a glimpse of Silver Surfer, or something about Galactus, because they also were talking about Nova getting introduced. So I think that's gonna be, so I think that's gonna be where we start to get our glimpse if Galactus is gonna also start being a part of this realm. Because I believe Silver Surfer should definitely be shown a lot more before we see Galactus. Like, we know who pulls his puppet strings, but we need to see the MCU not really know who pulls his strings, and he kicking ass.
And so Kang. Kang does have a beef. Well, not necessarily a beef with X-Men, but he was his knowledge of the future and everything. He tried to go back and kill. I'm gonna butcher this name, An Sabanur, and with him trying to kill him.
Apocalypse.
That's what created. That's what created Apocalypse, and so he created the first mutant. It was a direct result of Kang. So it's like with that, you got to think about
Kang goes back in time and becomes Pharaoh Ramatut too, right?
Yeah. So with that, it's like it can be a love-hate, because obviously there's certain mutants who love to be mutants, but there's also mutants it's a All right, CT, what you gonna say, bro?
I have no idea.
Damn, but now you got me thinking too. What if he already did that?
Right, he took me on a journey with that one.
Yeah, like what if 616 is where that happened? Since like we dealing with Loki, what if he did in this one kill Apocalypse, and that's why mutants never happened?
Ooh, so now you're gonna go back in time and save Apocalypse, and that's how fucking mutants exist on 616. That's
Ladies and
fucking
gentlemen,
incredible.
ladies and gentlemen.
Right here,
Wow.
straight on the comic book.
If that ain't how
Wow.
you close out a
And
fucking
then
episode.
don't forget, wait a minute, just to bring it more back home, there was a Pharaoh Ramatut Easter egg in Moon Knight.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes,
there's two Kang Easter eggs in Moon Knight. There's one, and then there's another one where they apparently
Don't say it. Don't say it. Because I gotta watch it.
Yeah, he hasn't seen it.
But wait, so now let me give you this. So this is the breakdown for Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes when you find it. I think it's on Disney Plus. If it's not, it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna watch it
but
for sure.
The thing is, there are 52 episodes usually of cartoons. So with the animated series, how they started off is they built the cube in the Avengers universe. They built the cube, and when they built the cube, they've locked up every single one of their villains, right? In the cube, the most secure prison ever. And soon as they do that, they show Kang like on looking, right? Something happens. The cube opens all cells, and now the next 52 episodes are them trying to put every single one of them back in their cell. So it's simple and it's brilliant when you watch it. The only reason they stopped it is literally the greatest Marvel series I've ever seen, and that's including over Spider-Man because of how streamlined the story was. Yeah. The reason it's super dope is, the reason they canceled it is because Avengers the movie came out, and all of the Avengers and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes show everybody in the Marvel universe compared to just the movies. So they canceled it and they started Avengers Assemble, which was more about the movies into cartoons. So Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's up there with Young Justice. I ain't even gonna front. That is up there.
Fire, bro.
I love Young Justice.
And it has an ending, so you'll like that.
Yeah. Say less. I'm gonna watch it.
But ladies and gentlemen, these three gentlemen are very busy, and I appreciate the time they took over here to come.
Man, I got time to talk
stuff like
Fuck that.
I know y'all do.
I got time, dog.
We're gonna definitely continue to have these. Clint will definitely have you back on here to talk more. Not only Marvel, hopefully we can get you into the DC world, so you can come talk with us on DC stuff as well. Yeah. But before y'all get out of here, of course, Deuce, CT, y'all know what it's like, man. Just want y'all to be able to let people know what you got coming up. Shout out. Deuce, I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah,
right,
go
so
first.
4 scores and 7 years ago. No, just go ahead, man. Follow me at young_deuces everywhere, man. We got a lot of stuff that we're working on. Everything is updated there. So yeah, just go ahead and go follow me on those social media profiles, man. And make sure y'all like and comment. I'm on this wave of trying to get more people. We get a habit of seeing people's stuff and not hitting like and comment. So if you see anything post from anybody on the show or just in general, or anybody support, make sure you like and comment because those actually mean something a lot. So,
Deuce, one thing I'll tell you, I'm sure someone told me a long time ago that helps with that. If you when they comment back and let them know, hey, thank you so much for watching. It helps so much. And the person who told me that almost 4 or 5 years ago is on this other Zoom, Mr. CT. I'll never forget you told me that. And what's funny is the Frost Lounge where Clint was performing, and you said that, and I never forgot those words.
Yo, let me tell you something, man. It's so true because people comment and they, and this is good or bad because a lot of times people leave negative comments thinking that you only go respond to those. But the people who say something positive, man, I immediately saw my number shoot up from beyond the content, but just my comment numbers, because you talk back to those people and they're like, oh man, this dude is cool, or thank you for not ignoring me, because everybody always ignores people. And I've gotten away from it in the past couple of years just because of timing. I might not be up when the video drops, or I might be busy, but it's like, man, when you engage in the audience, they engage back. It's all love. And it teaches your audience, if you acknowledge the negative people more than the positive, you're going to get more negative people. But the minute I would do something petty, I would respond to every positive comment and leave that one negative comment unresponded to. And then the following week, you wouldn't see any negative comments because they're starting to catch on. Oh, he only talked back to the people that say cool shit. Exactly. I got time for that bullshit. But Patreon.com/CT is dope. And I appreciate you, Deuces, for keeping this shit short and sweet. I respect that. Appreciate it, bro. We gotta get the fuck out of here. I appreciate you.
Clint, you up.
Oh man, what's up, man? Clint, Coley. Listen, I just want to throw out one thing. If you are a spades player, I'm the creator of the World Series of Spades. We just got added to the Roots Picnic in Philadelphia. If you are coming to the Roots Picnic, you and your partner come on through. Winner is the East Regional Champion, and you get an automatic spot on the next season of the World Series of Spades. You get a trophy, and you get a $500 grand prize. So if any of you guys, that's listening, play spades, you come into the Roots Picnic, boom, that's it.
Man, when are you gonna produce a show for me? Nigga, you're fucking amazing. This nigga Clint Coley, everything he touched turned to gold. Produce one of these shows, man.
Yes,
Man,
you
I'm around, man.
Midas touch. But yes, and there's some things they did. Make sure you check him out. Also, too, on tour right now. My Edible kicked in.
Yes,
it is going
sir.
strong. Go check out Clint Coley's socials to make sure that tour is happy. Where they're gonna pop up as well. And also in the comments below, even though it did happen earlier this week, please wish CT a happy birthday. Going around the world once again. So happy birthday to you. Glad to have you here. Glad to know you as a person. And make sure y'all put those in the comments below. And y'all know me, Will Pharaoh, everything on socials. Continue to support this show as well as All Death Cannabis. And then, of course, RK Tokens is coming back, expanding in the universe. New shows, same shows, new talent. All kind of things are coming, but that same great blurred feel. We want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.